Greetings to all in creation. This is Aurora, Mother of New Creation, with a special alarming situation that has hit the field. And I was at Wexford, 57 Wexford on the Green when it hit. I had an artist called Russ contact me, and he managed within no time to get absolutely all my information, literally. All my bank logins, passwords, routing numbers, and wire numbers, account numbers, my phone number, AT&T login number. Until this morning, I went to Carolina Coffee and Crumbs, and he managed to get me to give him my Gmail, Aurora Mother New Creation @gmail.com password. And then at night, I was at the park here, and John showed up. So they've been sending me these homeless people since apparently William Forsyth made pretend he got kicked out from 211 Cordillo Parkway G2 HHISC 29928, where I opened both my Bank of America and my Wells Fargo from. And the older Bank of America account that I got a notice from Hollywood and Highland Hotel and Hostel, I got double charged from, that reimbursed me the night that they double charged me from, during which I had this New Jersey gangster pick me up from Hollywood and Highland Boulevard and take me to La Brea Inn and check me in using my green card, but using a fraudulent immatriculation plate number, which was his black Jaguars or whatnot. And then I got back to the hostel, where Lisa was one of my roommates, as well as Christine. And now, if you guys notice, all the Blackpink songs have like Elisa going on in there. And today they was calling me, like they called me Liz yesterday. This guy called Will here at the park come by and do a whole nigger act, giving me yellow beers, and then called me Liz, try to get me to go to the Westin, but I was sleeping at Bayberry Drive by Firethorn with, not with, meaning at the, like Marriott downtown underground location with the pool tables and the pools, etc. Being from Long Island, New York, like drove me towards, so that I may rest there yesterday when I decided to leave Wexford because of this whole Hungarian baby mama and the being at Wexford, trying to say that he's miserable with her, and trying to pin that on me and like offer me Venmo money that never came. And they keep saying, oh, you're an angel. I'm like, no, I'm an archangel, and I'm performing surgeries all the time. And then they keep denying, and they keep denying, and they keep denying, and they keep denying, and they keep denying. And so I had to leave because I couldn't tolerate being dishonored and disrespectful and disrespected in a body after so many years and attempts of, you know, upgrading these beings, which they do get upgraded, but then they completely disregard, dismiss, and make pretend it never happened and that they never took a surgery. And then they ask me again, can you please dance for me tonight? Or, you know, whatever, perform some stuff that are of that nature for money. And I'm like, that's just not what I do. So I had to exit the plantation after I changed my Bank of America account address from 211 Cordillo Parkway, apartment G2, HHISC 299 to 8, to 57 Wexford on the Green, HHISC 299 to 8, 3 days ago. So I have this being called Russ take my password this morning at Carolina and Crumb's Coffee after the Jamaican girl there asks me, like, why are you still here? And I'm like, well, you know, first of all, that's very impolite to greet me as such. Second of all, at Carolina and Crab Coffee and Crumbs, I first plugged in my Bank of America flag card that was deactivated in my last stay at William Forsyth's house. And that night he sent me like $100 to my Wells Fargo, and he's like, oh, you're being so good. And then the next day I was like standing there and I had a puff of weed on the patio. So then they're like, oh my God, he had just given me the key to his property while I was still training at the Bikram thingy. And all the girls were like, why is she here? And that's where I was like, you know what, you guys? I started to like expose the 8 limbs of yoga, which is what's at the basis of yoga, meaning, you know, non-discrimination, full acceptance, love, harmony. And like that's the basis and principles of beings in a yoga school. It's not like judgment and, you know, gossip energies and weird bullshit and cliquish behavior. So I was called from LA, Hollywood and Highland, and I performed a 6A surgery, which is the next level upgrade that I've been, you know, implementing on all fields for a while now, going all the way to 8A, passing by 7. And so he calls me for a session all the way to Hollywood and Highland. Says that the first session I gave him when he was with Heather, he ended up leaving her, and now he's with Aida and he desperately wanted to leave her. So he's like, well, why don't your session do something for me? So I gave him one session. Then I started to get intense visions of like the shores of Hilton Head and the ocean here and everything. And I started to get notices from my USPS box here, 5744, like it's PO Box 5744, HHISC 29938 under Dimetabrawi Aurora Diamond Rainbow Morning Star, that has William Forsyth like detailed as a being who may access the box, but his keys with me. Because I had like a dream at his house one time where Tatiana Pushkina showed up next to Stephen Thompson, and she showed me like a paper where it was written Aurora Diamond Rainbow. And then I like held it and tore it up, and I told him the dream in the morning. I told William Forsyth this dream. He's like, I'm so fucked. And I was like, are you the FBI? And he's like starting to deny it and everything. And then I went to the cops in Beaufort that day back then to report identity theft matters, because I was like literally terrified. And instead of writing a report, they just put like a box of M&Ms on the table and a box of Crunch. And I was like, well, that's absurd. And then they're like, yeah, but you don't have a passport and you're insane. And then they're like, who's Russell Pearson? And I'm like, excuse me? So then I left. And then like today, as I entered Callahan's, the FBI agent that I'm talking to was like, babe. And then I'm like, I didn't say nothing. And then he's like, oh, did I just babe you? But you're not my babe. And I'm like, well, who is this? Is this Russell Pearson? And then I never got a straight answer, so I wouldn't know who that is. But him and the Russ talk very similarly to me. And then at the end of my journey in the Callahan spot, they gave me 5 wings, obviously. And then I tried to pay with my Bank of America card, but my Bank of America was canceled and switched off as soon as I entered Callahan's. And so I haven't been able to reactivate it. And my AT&T now is not logging in. So Russ is telling me to trust him and the process. But I'm like, just saying that I will trust him only because I trust myself. And something really weird is happening. In my root chakra now. Like, it's on actual fire. I performed another surgery today and I had like a demon, parasite, like Archon, just approach me and like yak at my face, and it was really scary. And I'm, working hard on reclaiming my full, identity. So now that I know that they moved into the 211 G2 Cordillo, the Tatiana thing, I'm going to probably call some cops to accompany me like they told me to the first time I ever called the cops here. They're like, you got to call cops and go with us to the property to get your stuff out of there. Because I personally am not a confrontational person and I have no interest in any interpersonal like matters of the sort, because I literally just don't. All I want is my shit back, my identity back, and I want these motherfuckers to leave me, my phone number, my bank accounts, and my totality alone, and get over the fact that they weren't born when I was born and that they're not me. So whoever has been backing Tatiana up, all the way since her ritualistical, attempts when I paid by Dima Tabrawi 34242, my bank Audi card, that I also tried to work tonight, but it's still not working, even though I asked my father to reactivate it. So, the energies are very mixed up still, and we're not at the bottom of things. And I got another weird call around 1 a.m. by one of those locals, like, oh my god, why don't you come over? We thought you wanted a shower. I'm like, not really, because, I just gave myself a spritz up at the Callahan's restroom. And then John and all the kids vanished out of the room without even notifying me. And, I don't know, but there's an intergalactic war going on, and I'm pretty uncertain yet, but I do know that I have a very burning sensation in my root chakra now, and it is almost unbearable, so I'm going to stop recording for now until I recover my full identity back in a timely manner. Thank you, everybody. Love and light.